Okay, in the last lecture, we have discussed till the summary of window functions. So today we move or we go for the one example based on this window function. Just note down this example. Okay, so design a symmetric low pass linear phase FIR filter having a desired frequency response HD omega is equal to 1 into e raised to minus j omega m minus 1 by 2, where 0 is less than or equal to mod of omega less than or equal to omega c and 0 for the other values. So here one desired filter response is given to you, frequency response, that is HD omega. The values are given to you where the frequency range is defined from 0 to omega c, means the cutoff frequency is given to you for the low pass linear phase FIR filter. So we have to design this low pass linear phase FIR filter having this desired frequency response. So first step is a delay of m minus 1 by 2 unit is incorporated into HD omega in anticipation of forcing the filter to be of length m. Okay, so to make the filter of size m, as this is a m minus 1 by 2, means half size filter or symmetric filter is given to you. So what we are doing, we are adding a delay of m minus 1 by 2 units and is incorporated into HD omega in anticipation of forcing the filter to be of length m. So we are adding this delay or incorporating this delay, the corresponding unit sample response. Now the frequency response is given. Now from this frequency response, we derive the unit sample response obtained by evaluating the integral. So we are getting HDN is equal to 1 upon 2 pi integration from minus omega c to omega c e raised to j omega n minus m minus 1 by 2 d of omega. Okay, so when you solve this, so we are getting sine omega c n minus m by 2 divided by pi n minus m by 2, so where n is not equal to m minus 1 by 2. So as we can see, the here whatever HDN, or you can say the desired unit sample response, is non-causal and having the infinite duration. So clearly HDN is non-causal one and having the infinite duration. So to make it causal and make it a physically realizable filter, we are multiplying this HDN with the windowing function. Okay, so earlier whatever we had derived, that is, just a second, we have to obtain this h of n, that is nothing but we multiply this impulse response HDN with the windowing function. Okay, so as we apply the windowing function, now your filter is changed from infinite duration to finite duration and from non-causal to causal. So when this thing is possible, or when we apply this windowing function, then only we can say we are able to realize this particular filter. So here if we multiply HDN by the rectangular window sequence, here for example we are taking the rectangular window function, we obtain an FIR filter of length m having the unit sample response. So here as we have discussed, this rectangular window function having value 1 from 0 to m minus 1, for the rest the value is 0. So now nothing but you are multiplying this HDN with the rectangular window function to obtain the h of n. So your h of n will be sine omega c n minus m minus 2 by minus 1 by 2 divided by pi n minus m minus 1 by 2. So where 0 is less than or n less than or equal to m minus 1, the value of n is not equal to m minus 1 by 2. So here m is selected to be odd. The value of h of n is equal to m minus 1 by 2 will be given as, now if I select the m having the odd value, the value of h of n is given as, here if I am selecting this, n is equal to m minus 1 by 2, n minus m by 1 minus 2. So here you are getting m, just a second, m minus 1 by 2. So these both terms will be cancelled out. Here same thing will happen over here. So you are getting this hm minus 1 by 2 is equal to omega c by pi. So after this n is equal to m minus 1 by 2, you are getting the simplified function for the value of n is equal to m minus 1 by 2, that will be omega c divided by pi. So the magnitude of the frequency response h omega of this filter is illustrated in figure for m is equal to 61 and m is equal to 101. For the first, we are taking the length of filter 61 and we are taking the m is equal to 101. So here both diagrams are shown to you. Magnitude responses for m is equal to 61 and for m is equal to 101. Both diagrams are plotted for the magnitude versus normalized frequency, though it is not mentioned over here. Both are the normalized frequency. Okay, so what are the changes compared to m is equal to 61 and m is equal to 101? As we have discussed, when we are taking m is equal having higher value, what happened? Our side lobe width is decrease. So our side lobe width compared to this one, not side lobe, but my mistake, there is a main lobe width is decreased compared to this one. You are getting the little reduction over here. Okay, though the side lobe, whatever side lobes you are getting, their widths are in decrease, but their height is also increased. So compared to this, the width is lower over here, but height is higher. So total area covered by this will be equal. So here you can say that the relatively large oscillations or ripples occur near the band edge of the filter. So this is the band edge of the filter. This is the pass band edge and this is the stop band edge. So near to the edge frequencies, we are getting the large oscillations, or we can say the ripples. We are getting more ripples. Just a second. We are getting the large or more number of ripples at these edge frequencies. Okay, so the oscillation increase in frequency as m increase. As we increase the m value, what happen? These oscillations or ripples are increased, but they do not diminish in amplitude. But they are not diminish our amplitude values, though their numbers, or you can say the size of these ripples are increased. So compared to this, you can see the number here. You are getting more number of ripples. As we increase the m, your ripple will increase. Okay, can anybody tell me why when we increase the value of m, we are getting more ripples? Okay, so as we have discussed, when any abrupt transition from pass band to stop band will occur, the more number of ripples will be created. As here you can see the transition from pass band, or you can say the transition band is, just a second. Here this will be the transition band. If I draw like this, here you have pass band and here this is the stop band. So here in this transition band, you can say when you are taking m is equal to 101, what happened? There's a sharp fall, or you can say the abrupt change from the pass band to the stop band. So compared to this transition band, here your transition band is very narrow. Means you are immediately shifting from pass band to stop band. So when that kind of abrupt transition is there, what happened? Chances of creation of ripples will be more. So you are getting more number of ripples as you increase the m, because as you increase the m, the cutoff, or you can say the transition band between the pass band and stop band will decrease. Okay, here you require more time to settle from pass band to stop band. Here less time is needed to settle from pass band to stop band. As the settlement time is very low, what happened? The creation of ripples will be more. So this is the reason that thing is mentioned. The oscillation increase in frequency as m increases. Though as the m increases, this is the advantages. We are getting the sharp cutoff, but the one limitation is more number of ripples will be there. Okay, so let us discuss further about this. So these large oscillations are the direct result of the large side lobe existing in the frequency characteristic of the rectangular window. So large side lobe also exists in the frequency characteristic omega, as Ajita said. This is one of the reason. As this window function is convolved with the desired frequency response characteristic ht omega, the oscillation occur as the large constant area side lobes of the omega move across the discontinuity that exists at HD omega. Discontinuity means when you are moving from passband to stop band, the large discontinuity will occur at the edge frequencies. So the multiplication of HDN with rectangular window is identical to trunking the Fourier series representation of the desired filter function characteristic HD omega. So here when say any spectrum is coming and you are limiting or trunking that particular spectrum with any of the window. So as your M is higher, in that case you are getting this truncation very rapidly, or abrupt transition from passband to stop band will occur, and more number of ripples or oscillation will occur. Okay, so the truncation of Fourier series is known to introduce ripples in the frequency response characteristic. Just a second. Yeah, so the truncation of the Fourier series is known to introduce ripples in the frequency response characteristic H omega due to the non-uniform convergence of the Fourier series at discontinuity. So the oscillatory behavior near the band edge of the filter is called the Gibbs phenomenon. Okay, means number of, as we increase the M, number of oscillation or ripples will increase. So this particular oscillatory behavior has a certain name, and the name given by the name of the inventor near the band edge of the filter is called the Gibbs phenomenon. So how we can overcome or reduce this oscillation? So the reason or the thing is to alleviate the presence of large oscillation in both the pass band and the stop band. We should use a window function that contain a taper and decay towards zero gradually instead of abruptly. So whatever transition from pass band to stop band, that will occur gradually, okay, instead of abruptly. So when this will occur, what happen? You are getting the less number of ripples. So this will, here why we are getting this kind of ripples, because we are using the rectangular window. The function is like this. If I am talking about the rectangular window, the function is like this. Initially you are getting value 1 for the locations, or you can say the value 0 to m minus 1, and after this you are getting the immediate 0 values. So there's an abrupt change from 1 to 0, or from pass band to stop band in this rectangular window. But if you go for another windows where instead of this abrupt change, your decaying from pass band to stop is gradually, so in that case you are able to reduce these ripples. So instead of rectangular window, we prefer that kind of windows which give you less ripples, or you can say the oscillation is less compared to this. So as illustrated in figures, the window functions do indeed eliminate the ringing effects at the band edge and do result in lower side lobes at the expense of increase in the width of transition band of the filter. Okay, so let me show you this. So low pass filter designed with rectangular window. So here we are taking M is equal to 61. So first one is the low pass FIR filter designed with the rectangular window. Okay, so here compared to, you can say the more number of you can say the ripples you are getting. So here compared to this, here you can see the some little ripples are also shown over here, not more, but here compared to this you are getting this smooth response. Okay, so here this low pass FIR filter designed with hemming window. So instead of rectangular window, if you use the hemming window, what happen, as the transition from pass band to stop band is not abrupt over here, you are getting the smooth curve, or you can say the less number of ripples. Compared to this, here you can see the distance between this pass band and stop is very low. If I show you like this, the width here and here, okay, and here you can see this gap is larger due to the characteristic of that particular window. Okay, if I go for the another window, if you go for Blackman window, same thing with the Blackman window. Compared to the previous two graphs, here you can see the side lobes are very low. Okay, so this is known as a this is nothing but the same FIR filter design, but instead of rectangular window, I am using the Blackman window. The order of M is same, that is M is equal to 61. Okay, another is we are using this Kaiser window. Kaiser window with alpha constant is equal to 4, where M is equal to 61. So if I go for Kaiser window, you can see the graph which is very smooth compared to the previous one. Only thing is we are getting the more number of ripples in the side lobes. Though Kaiser window is a dynamic window, we can say, by tuning the parameters. Here we have selected alpha is equal to 4. If you go for some more parameters, still you may get the better response compared to this Blackman window. Okay, so based on your application, you can change the parameters and you can improve the magnitude response. So that is possible with the Kaiser window. So these are the graphs with the different windows. So let us discuss all this. First one is the low pass filter design with rectangular window. Just a second. Yeah. So compared to, as we have discussed, in rectangular window, the transition is abrupt. So you are getting more number of ripples or more oscillation. Hemming window, oscillations are reduced in the pass band, but still some side lobes are there. In the Blackman window, no ripples in the pass band, and also number of ripples in the side lobes are very low compared to the previous two windows. And in Kaiser window, you are getting the smooth pass band window, or you can say main lobe, but some ripples in the stop band. Though these ripples or the graph, or you can say the window characteristic, can be changed by selecting the different parameters. Here we have done this for alpha is equal to 4. By taking alpha having another values, you can able to control that side lobes also. So these are the different window function we are using based on our application. Okay, so now we are going for the design of linear phase FIR filters by the frequency sampling method. All of you clear up to this? Here we discuss about the design of filters, linear phase FIR filter with the windowing method. Okay, so in the next lecture, we will solve few examples of the designing of this filter, a linear phase FIR filter, and taking some specific values, and we design the filter based on this, based on the windowing method. Another method for filter design is this one, design of linear phase FIR filter by the frequency sampling method. All of you clear about the previous method, windowing methods? If anybody having any query, you can please ask.
So I have one query in the question that we solved.
Yeah.
Sir, we have taken M as odd. Any particular reason for that?
No, normally for the line of symmetry, we are doing this m minus, if you are taking m is equal to odd value, then here in the all the equation we are written m minus 1 by 2. If you are taking the even value, then you have to simply apply the m by 2. This is the only change we have to do in the equations. So this is as per your Prokis book, m is odd values taken. So I have taken the m is equal to odd value and we solved it. In odd value, one thing will happen. Your line of symmetry will at the origin, and you are getting all the spectrum divided equal in both sides. And if you are taking m having even value, your line of symmetry is little shifted, not at the origin. Got it, Ekta?
Yes, sir. Thank
Just a
you.
second. Let me show you one graph which just a second. You can easily understand from that. Yeah. Okay, this is symmetric and asymmetric responses. If you are taking m having odd value, then you can easily see the line of symmetry. If we are taking total number of 9 number of samples, your line of symmetry is the fifth sample. Okay, and here another is symmetry when you are getting the even value of m. Okay, so here you can say 8 number of samples are there, but your line of symmetry is not exactly at some particular means here your values are 0, 1, 2, 3. At the third, this particular place, you are getting the line of symmetry. Only the position of line of symmetry will change if you are taking odd value of m or even value of m. Okay, and if you are talking about anti-symmetry, so here we are taking odd value of m. So here you are getting this separate, the fourth location, we are getting the line of symmetry. And here you are getting the line of symmetry between third and fourth value. So location, whatever you are getting, not similar in both the cases. If odd symmetry, your fourth number value will be the, if you are taking total 9 samples, then 4 samples in one side and 4 samples on the another side, and you are getting the line of symmetry exactly, because odd value, in odd value you can say, if I'm taking value, for example, 9, then 4 samples on one side, 4 sample on another side, and whatever your origin, that will be origin, or you can say the middle sample, will clearly show you the line of symmetry. But in the when you are taking even value of m at that line of symmetry, you are not getting any sample, you are just getting the division of 4 samples in one side, 4 samples on the another side, and line of symmetry in between. So that is shown over here. Here even value of m, here this is clearly visible, line of symmetry between 3 and 4. Here also line of symmetry between these two. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let us continue with this. Just a second. Okay, design of linear phase FIR filters by the frequency sampling method. I think frequency sampling method we already discussed in the filter structure. So now we continue with this frequency sampling method for the designing of linear phase FIR filters. So in this method, a set of m equally spaced samples in the interval 0 to 2 pi are taken in the desired frequency response HD omega. So the continuous frequency omega is replaced by, now whatever continuous frequency we are writing omega k, it is now replaced with the m equally spaced samples in the interval 0 to 2 pi. So that is mentioned omega k is equal to 2 pi by m k plus alpha. So here value of k is 0 to m minus 1 by 2 if m having the odd value, and k is equal to 0 to m by 2 minus 1 when m having the even value. And alpha, as we have discussed in the structure design also, alpha is equal to 0 or alpha is equal to 1 by 2. But normally in many of the cases, whatever we have discussed in the book, they are based on this alpha is equal to 0. Okay, so the frequency response of the filter at the frequency is omega k. Omega k means now you are not taking the continuous frequency. We sample that frequency between interval 0 to 2 pi by the values of k, means that much samples you are getting. So the frequency response of the filter at the frequencies omega k is given as h of k plus alpha is equal to h of 2 pi by m k plus alpha. And here the equation is written in terms of DFT. Hk plus alpha is equal to summation n is equal to 0 to m minus 1 h of n e raised to minus j 2 pi k plus alpha n by m, where the values of k are from 0 to m minus 1. So the above equation can be inverted and expressed. If I this equation, you can say the represent the equation of DFT simply. If I inverse that, suppose instead of hk omega, if I inverse that equation, I am getting the value of h of n. Just a second. This equation will give you the value of capital H k plus alpha, which is nothing but the frequency response. Suppose I invert that particular equation, it will give you the answer of this impulse response h of n. That is nothing but invert DFT. So that is mentioned over here. Above equation can be inverted and express h of n in terms of h of k plus alpha. So if we multiply both sides of the above equation by the exponential e raised to j 2 pi m by m, where m is having value 0 to m minus 1, and sum over the range from 0 to m minus 1, the right hand side reduces to the m hm exponential term minus j 2 pi alpha m by m. So this is nothing but inverse of this equation is written like this: h of n is equal to 1 by m summation from k is equal to 0 to m minus 1 h of k plus alpha into, now as we are doing the inversion of this term will be moving on this side. So you are getting, instead of negative term, you are getting the positive term over here, e raised to j 2 pi k plus alpha n divided by n. So this is how whatever frequency response is given, you convert that frequency response into the impulse response. Or you can say simply this is nothing but you can obtain with the DFT equation, and this you can obtain with the IDFT equation. Okay, so above equation allow us to compute the values of the unit sample response h of n from the specification of the frequency samples h of k plus alpha. So now as your specifications are given in terms of frequency samples h of k plus alpha, you are able to get the values of the samples of h of n. So when alpha is equal to 0, if I'm taking alpha is equal to 0 in this equation, you can say simply one above expression reduces to the DFT of the sequence h of n and IDFT. This equation, if I'm taking k alpha is equal to 0, it will be h of k is equal to summation n is equal to 0 to m minus 1 h of n e raised to j 2 pi k into n divided by m, because alpha is equal to 0. So you can simply say this equation will convert it to the equation of DFT. And for this particular equation, if you are taking alpha is equal to 0, this particular equation is converted to equation of IDFT. So when we are taking alpha is equal to 0, both equations are nothing but DFT and IDFT equations. So since h of n is real, we can easily show that the frequency samples h of k alpha satisfy the symmetry condition, that is h of k plus alpha is equal to h of complex conjugate m minus k minus alpha. So this symmetry condition along with the symmetry conditions of h of n can be used to reduce the frequency specifications from m points to m plus 1 by 2 points. So instead of calculating total m number of points as the line of symmetry, or you can say symmetry condition is there, we have to calculate only the half of the points. So that is m plus 1 by 2 points if m having the odd value, or m by 2 points for m having the even value. So we have to calculate only the half frequency points, and we can repeat them, or because you can say the symmetrical condition is there, so calculation is reduced. And instead of calculating all the 15 points, for example, if I'm taking m is equal to 15, then 7 point I have to calculate, and then I can easily find out the remaining remaining 7 points. Okay, so the frequency response of an FIR anti-symmetric unit sample response can be expressed. So now if it is anti-symmetric filter, then it can be represented as h of omega is equal to hr omega into e raised to minus j omega 1 by 2 plus pi by 2. This equation we already written in the previous slides. So above expression is sampled at the frequency omega k is equal to 2 pi k plus alpha by m. So this is nothing but, instead of taking continuous frequency omega, we are taking the samples of that omega for the interval 0 to 2 pi, and we are obtaining the k number of samples. So where k is nothing but 0 to m minus 1. So if you apply this, means you sample this particular equation, the equation will be h of k plus alpha, where h are 2 pi by m k plus alpha e raised to j b pi by 2 minus 2 pi k plus alpha m minus 1 divided by 2. Here one new notation or new term we have introduced, that is beta. So where beta is equal to 0, if we take this beta is equal to 0, this h of n equation, whatever you derived from here, that is symmetric one. And if beta having the value 1, it is nothing but you are getting the anti-symmetric filter. So real frequency sample can be defined. Now we are introducing the new notation, that is g of k plus alpha, that will be minus 1 raised to k hr 2 pi by m k plus alpha. So k is equal to 0 to m minus 1. So we can obtain this. Now if I replace this equation, means this term, whatever we have written, I replace this term by defining the new value g k plus alpha, which is nothing but this one. So I can write this h k plus alpha is equal to g k plus alpha e raised to j pi k into e raised to j beta pi by 2 minus 2 pi k plus alpha m minus 1 divided by 2. The frequency sampling method provides us with another means of designing linear phase FIR filter. So to design linear phase FIR filter, one method you can apply, that is windowing method. Another method you can utilize, that is the frequency sampling method. Its major advantage lies in the efficient frequency sampling structure, which is obtained when most of the frequency samples are 0. So the advantage is when you require to find out the values of few samples only and remaining samples are 0, then this particular method will be more advantageous. So you can say its major advantage lies in the efficient frequency sampling structure, which is obtained when most of the frequency samples are 0. So we are interested to calculate the few samples only, then we can apply the frequency sampling method. Okay, and this is the unit sample response diagram, or the table is shown. h of n is equal to plus or minus h of m minus 1 minus n. So if you are having the symmetric value and the case is equal to alpha is equal to 0, what will be the h of k, what will be the g of k, and what will be the h of n, and what is the value of u. So all these things are calculated based on this equation. So as far as your syllabus is concerned, the derivation of these equations are not part of your syllabus. Only you have to utilize this equation for alpha is equal to 0 case, and when alpha is equal to 1 by 2, you have to utilize these equations. Okay, so if alpha is equal to 0, then we are calculating h of k. Our main equation is h of k is equal to g of k e raised to j pi k by m, where k having the value 0 to m minus 1. So in this particular equation, you require the value of g of k, which can be calculated by this equation, minus 1 raised to k hr 2 pi k by m, and g of k is same as minus g of m minus k due to the symmetric condition. Okay, now we can calculate this h of n by applying this value. Now we are able to calculate this h of k, then g of k, then we require the unit samples, that is h of n. That can be calculated with this equation, 1 by m g0 twice summation from k is equal to 1 to u g of k cos 2 pi k m n plus pi by 2. Oh, sorry, n plus 1 by 2. So whatever this upper limit u is shown to you, that can be calculated like this: m minus 1 by 2 if m having the odd value, m by 2 minus 1 if m having the even value. Okay. Similarly, when alpha is equal to 1 by 2, these are the changes, and we can utilize these four equation: h of k plus 1 by 2, then g of k plus 1 by 2. Now as you seen this, here we have written g of k is equal to minus j minus g m minus k, but here alpha having the 0 value, but now alpha having the 1 by 2 value, so that way you can write g of k plus 1 by 2 is equal to g of m minus k minus 1 by 2. Okay, so 1 by 2 is added over here, and this same thing we are doing, and h of n can be calculated by this equation. So these are the condition when your filter is symmetric one, and if anti-symmetric, then the some changes are there. So again, in this table, for alpha is equal to 0, these four equations are given for anti-symmetric condition, and for alpha is equal to 1 by 2, another four equations are given. So these equation you have to utilize for the calculation of linear phase FIR filter using frequency sampling method. Okay. Okay, what is the timing now? Just a second. Okay, let me discuss the example with you, because this is a very short example. Only thing is, whatever values are given over here, these are direct one. So I request all of you to try to calculate the values yourself. If you are not getting any doubt in these values, we will discuss this. Okay, otherwise you can whatever the values we are getting for h of n, just compare your answer with that and verify. Okay, so determine the coefficients of linear phase FIR filter of length m is equal to 15, which is a symmetric unit sample response and a frequency response that satisfy the condition hr 2 pi k by 15 is equal to 1 for the values of k is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 0.4 where k is having value 4, and 0 for the places 5, 6, 7. So these HR values are given. So here you can see that here the some things are mentioned. M is equal to 15. So you can say first is M having the odd value, which has a symmetric unit sample response. The response is symmetric. So here from this table, this is symmetric one, and you are having the M is equal to odd value. So these particular equations you have to select. So U is equal to M minus 1 by 2. So M having the value 15, 15 minus 1, that is 14 divided by 2, so 7. So U having the value 7. So in this equation, H of n is equal to 1 by M, G of 0 plus 2, summation from K is equal to 1 to 7, remaining part is as it is. Okay, and now we have to calculate this G of 0, G of 1, G of 2, G of 7. Okay, so initially we start with G is equal G of K, means K is having the value 0. So G of 0 is equal to minus 1 raised to 0 HR 2 pi K by M. So minus 1 raised to 0, that having the value 1, and this HR 2 pi K term where K is equal to 1. So this is given for the values of K is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, you are having value 1. So first calculate all these GK values for K is equal to 0 to 1 to 7. Whatever values you are getting, note down these values. And then after, utilize these values for the calculation of H0, means this particular function. H of n is equal to 1 by m. Now you have to apply this equation. Okay, in that equation, you have to utilize the value of g of 0, g of 1 up to g of 7. And then you will get the answer, which is in the form of h of n. Okay, so here these things are mentioned. And as this is a symmetric one, so total m is equal to total m is equal to 15. So our symmetry is like this: h of 0 is same as h of 14, h of 1 h is equal to same as h of 13, like this. And your m is equal to 15 means your midpoint will be at the location 7. So 7 is the, you can say, the point of, or not origin, but the midpoint of your symmetrical line. So h of 7 will be only single value. Other values are h of 0, h of 14, h of 1, h of 13, h of 2, h of 12. So like this. So when you calculate by using that particular equation, these will be the answers. I suggest all of you to do the calculation, verify these answers. If you are having any query, we will discuss the solution in detail in the next lecture. Okay, so please do the calculation for h of 0 to h of 7 and verify whatever answer given on this slide. Okay, so this is how we can use the frequency sampling method, and we are able to get the frequency, you can say the impulse coefficient, and able to design the filter. So we should emphasize that HR omega is exactly equal to the values given by the specification. So when you plot this, or when you apply these values, this kind of magnitude response you are getting linear phase for the given HR values, HR omega values. This will be the graph. So this will be nothing but the one low pass filter will be designed when you apply these values. All of you clear? Having any query? Okay, so this example is already given in your book and direct answers are given. So I suggest all of you to do the calculation and verify the answer. If you are not getting this answer or having any query, we will discuss the entire example in detail in the next lecture. Okay, so now let me take the attendance. Okay, we start with the UI 17 series.